All right, we're going to look at Unit 4 review numbers 26 and 27. So these are the ones where I gave you surface area and I asked you to solve for a missing dimension. So this is a little bit of a tougher problem than some of the other ones on the review because you're setting up an equation in order to be able to solve it in both problems. Okay, so you know you're wanting to talk about the rectangular prism and we're wanting to talk about surface area of it. So we can reference our formula sheet and go to our rectangular solid and go to surface area, which is 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay, so we're going to be referencing this formula right here. So let me get it written down. 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height. I think that's a little out of order from what it looks like on the formula sheet, but it'll get the same result. And that is, of course, surface area. And then you want to think about the given in this problem. Like, what do I know because they gave it to me? Okay, so the first thing you should notice is in the reading itself, in the prompt of the question, it tells you what surface area is. Surface area is 112. Okay, and then they gave you 2 other dimensions here and not h. So when I start plugging stuff in this equation, of course my h's will stay put. Everything else should become a number. Okay, so this right here tells me that my length is 4, and let's make that the same uppercase L, and my width is 8, and these are interchangeable, length and width, could do it either way, and I don't know height. Okay, so when I go to plug in, I'm going to think to myself like 2 times something plus 2 times something plus 2 times something equals my surface area, whatever it ends up for this particular problem. Okay, well, in this particular problem, my surface area is 112. And I don't know my heights, so all of my h's are going to stay h's. Everything else is going to become a number. So, for example, my lengths are all going to become 4. My L's are all going to become 4. Here and here. And my widths are all going to become 8. So that would be here and here. Okay. And then from here, I can simplify my problem. So 2 times 4 times h. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, so that becomes 8h. And 2 times 4 times 8 is 8 times 8, which is 64, so that's going to be plus 64. And then 2 times 8 times h, well, 2 times 8 is 16, so that's going to be 16h, is equal to 112. And from there, I'm just going to solve my equation. So I'm going to collect my like terms, which is 8h plus 16h, or 24h, plus 64 is equal to 112. And then it's a sort of simple little solve it two-step equation. So I'm going to subtract 64 from each side. And 112 minus 64 is going to become 24h, right? Because this is going to be gone. So 24h is equal to 48. And then just divide both sides by 24 to solve for h. And I'm going to end up, right, because this becomes 24 divided by 24 becomes 1h, and 48 divided by 24 is 2. So my h is 2. So it's not super difficult. It's just like kind of a longer process because you have to set it up before you can solve it. Okay? If you wanted to pause the video right now and try number 27 before I work it, that probably would be beneficial for you, but I'm going to go ahead and work it now. So my formula is 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height is surface area. So I'm going to determine what I know. So I know surface area is 112 for both of these problems. I know that I don't know my length, but I do know my width is 2. And I know my height, right? My height is 6. Okay, so I can sort of plug in here. And let's see. So, oh, this is a crazy thing that I did here. I think I said 2, but I wrote a 5 or an S, or I don't know what that says. So it'll be 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height equals surface area. And I need to plug in what I don't know first. So I don't know L. So everywhere there was an L, I'm going to go ahead and replace it with L, because that's going to stay in the problem as my variable. And then, excuse me, I do know my W. Right, let me set it equal to 112 here, right? My surface area is 112. And then my width is 2, so everywhere there's a W, I can replace it with 2. And everywhere there is a height, I can replace it with 6. And from there, I can simplify the problem. So 2 times L times 6, 2 times 6, that becomes 12L. 2 times L times 2, that will be 4L. And 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 6 is 24, and that's going to be 112. And then I can combine like terms, so I can add my 12L plus my 4L, and that's going to give me 16L plus 24 is equal to 112. All right, a couple more steps and we'll be done. So I need to solve for L, so the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 24. All right, that gets rid of it on that side. So that on the left side of the equal sign, we're left with 16L. And on the right side of the equal sign, we have 112 minus 24, which is 88. And then we can solve for L by dividing by 16. 16 divided by 16 is 1, which is what we want, 1L. And that's 88 divided by 16, which is 5.5 for my missing dimension. All right, I hope that is helpful for you.